All right, all right. A little bit of a bonus cast today. A game between Foggy versus Lemes. This game taking place here on Last Refuge. It is going to be human versus night elf. Let's go ahead and jump right into this game here. Foggy spawning as the blue night elf on the bottom left-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, over here on the top right, Lemes spawning as the brown human. And it looks like, yes, he will be opening up with that paladin rifle combination that has become so popular as of late, even against non-undead players. I feel like the meta is still excuse me, continuing to evolve. Riflemen have always been, well, a rather powerful unit coming out of the human army, especially against night elves, as, well, dryads and huntresses are such a common unit, unarmored units, and then being able to use a little bit of that range. Demon Hunter now out onto the battlefield as well, as we're going to look at that Demon Hunter pick up claws of attack +5 and then move along his merry way here. We are on Last Refuge, and the Demon Hunter, well, we'll finish off these Forest Troll Trappers. Ancient of War will replenish those hit points by simply eating up a couple of trees and then moving on his merry way. Meanwhile, off to the north here, Rifleman getting in a little bit of damage, and we're going to be looking at some shooting back and forth. All right, purposely looking here, we're going to see this Ogre Warrior try and, well, take down this Paladin. The Forest Troll Trappers may actually try to back up here, and this is a little bit of a trapping position that we often see Orc players use with that Blade Master and Grunts. Instead, this time around, Paladin now out on the battlefield on the move, and it's going to try and clear out, or militia clear out to this Ogre Magi creep camp. Here we are, here we go. There's that engagement. Quick and snare on a couple of units, but they're all within combat range, and we'll be able to, well, dish out the damage and do more here. Militia now needs to try and retreat back, purposely ends up losing a little bit of aggro. As we're seeing, this guy right here is going to end up getting taken down. Yes, he does. He does not attack one of his own friendly units, and therefore never shakes that aggro there. That last peasant down to 6 hit points and will be able to back away. Excuse me. Paladin now gets up to level 2. Should be going for that devotion aura, making that holy light that much more effective in keeping the riflemen alive. Meanwhile, back on the southern side here, Demon Hunter going after the Rock Golem creep camp. Demon Hunter may try to pick up a Forest Troll Berserker, maybe even a Forest Troll Shadow Priest, as we see Immolation come online. Alright, early Immolation dealing damage to both the Forest Troll High Priest and that Forest Troll Trapper. Demon Hunter now going after that Rock Golem here as the Forest Troll Shadow Priest, well, doing a little bit of healing for that Demon Hunter. We see Immolation and level 2 evasion. So that Demon Hunter really has a lot more effective hit points than you would normally expect for a level 3 Demon Hunter. You can see that additional armor coupled with that additional evasion really does add up. Coming back through, Paladin going after the Forest Troll Trappers here. Paladin wants to get to level 3. Suddenly there's that giant power spike in terms of the effectiveness of that holy light. It is just going to be a little bit late there, needing to clear out one more creep camp, or perhaps trying to take down a Forest Troll Berserker and a Forest Troll Shadow Priest. We are teching the tier 2. It is nearly done. Meanwhile, Foggy also teching the tier 2, nearly done. We are seeing our Arcane Tower getting set up, and we are getting that level 1 weapons upgrade. Paladin going to come across the inside here. Ancient of Wonders pretty much wide open, and what is going to go down here as the Demon Hunter tries to catch a Rifleman. That Demon Hunter trying to catch up to that Rifleman there. Rifleman down to 86 hit points, down to 63. A Fire Lord now going to get added, and it gets finished off here. Meanwhile, inside the base, though, the Paladin looking for some units to kill, and there's nothing really to attack. These 1-0 upgraded Riflemen having nothing to attack, as archers are now making their way back. We can see that there is an Ancient of War down to the south here, but trying to shoot buildings is not going to be that effective. Here's Immolation. All right, we're going to see the units trying to retreat back here. Are we going to see a Holy Light onto any of those Riflemen? There's going to be no Holy Light. We should be looking at a Holy Light right there, but no. Oh, beautifully played right there as the Demon Hunter tried to try to get some damage here, and that's Soul Burn that prevents healing. All right, so that soul burn preventing the Paladin from being able to heal, and now the Paladin needs to try and perhaps catch up to the rest of these units once more. We do see a potion of replenishment on that Paladin. Demon Hunter could turn back around, get a little bit more damage again. Paladin now simply walking back here. Doesn't want to overheal on any of those units. Well, take it back. Overheals one. And I believe this guy was actually lower on hit points. Not quite sure like how he divvied up who should get a little bit of that mana or that hit points, as the Paladin now back up to 315 or 300 so odd mana. I apologize. This extremely windy here in Southern California today, making things a little bit difficult. All right, Archer down to 71 hit points. 1 or 2 more shots should do it. Takes it down. Blood Mage able to catch a unit in transit once more. Was there an item? Yes, there was. There is a Tome of Knowledge right there. Will be picked up by the Paladin. Perhaps going to try and pick up some other units as well. Nope, no other items. Siphon mana. Demon Hunter going to use Immolation. Try to go after some of these Riflemen. Riflemen down to 200 some odd hit points. Going to continue to drop here. There's another Holy Light. And we're just seeing just some smart play. Lemes currently in the front line position here, taking a little bit too much damage. Paladin, however, can Holy Light this Blood Mage. Get it back up to full hit points pretty easily, as we see a quick Holy Light right there. Once more, the Paladin going to try to run back up the ramp here, perhaps get in a little bit of damage. That is a large number of Riflemen at this stage in the game, as the Militia have made their way down. They're going to start shooting down these Moonwells, and putting pressure on the Moonwells at this point is key. There's that Soul Burn stopping that channeled ability. Blood Mage now being forced to retreat back. You can see that Blood Mage pretty much not doing any real damage here, as a lot of damage now getting racked up onto those peasants. One peasant now getting taken down. We're looking at the Arcane Vault trying to get constructed. Is not going to get constructed easily, as the Riflemen now focus their attention onto some of those archers. However, some easy Moonwell heals, keeping those units alive, as another archer about to get taken, or another Rifleman barely saved at the last moment. There's that Scroll of the Beast. That's going to be some big damage bonus. Still more Holy Light there, more Siphon mana. And now the Blood Mage should be able to funnel more mana into that Paladin, as we're going to see some more, well, Holy Light here. Devotion or a little, are we looking at armor? No, 1-0 upgrades. That is it. It is that, well, Beast Rifleman, Scroll of the Beast, giving that additional bit of hit points, making such a drastic difference, as we're looking at units falling left and right. All right, a little bit more damage there here. Level 4 on that Demon Hunter. Level 2 on the Fire Lord. Units are just trying to stay alive. It looks as though, wow, that Rifleman able to stay alive ever so barely, every way. Which side just trying to stay alive here, as this Rifleman down to 519 hit points after the heal. Demon Hunter continuing to battle up. Rifleman coming back around. Archer falls. Level 2 now on the Blood Mage. Blood Mage, is he going to try and siphon mana or perhaps banish? That is the question here, as we see another low hit point Rifleman taking quite a bit of damage. There's another Holy Light right there, as the Rifleman coming back on through, trying to get back onto the high ground to dodge an attack, but no such luck. Paladin looking pretty strong here. We're looking at the creeps now aggro to join in on the battle. Paladin could try and Holy Light that Rifleman here. Paladin sitting at level 3. You can see that the Ogre Mauler is coming back across. There's another Holy Light again, as the Blood Mage and the Paladin really need to work together and figure out how to reinforce here. Meanwhile, the Demon Hunter is pretty much out of mana. This could be a really bad position, as the Arcane Vault is once more cancelled. Ogre Magi and Ogre Mauler joining in on the battle here. This could be bad news for the Fire Lord, down to 109 hit points, being forced to retreat back. We're looking at the Paladin picking up a Health Stone. That's going to be a nice item pickup there, as the Demon Hunter forced to, well, take the Goblin Zeppelin to get out of a bad spot. Forest Troll High Priest, mana getting drained. Moonstone used, Nightfall to refill up those Moonwells, as the Ogre Mauler should be able to give that Paladin level 4. Level 4 would mean a level 2 Unholy, or level 2 Devotion Aura. A little bit more mana there, and now these Riflemen are essentially 2-2 upgraded. And are we getting additional upgrades? We are now getting in that level 1 armor upgrades. All right, coming back across here, we're looking at more damage coming through. Fire Lord putting in pressure. Demon Hunter is going to try and chase here. We are looking at a couple of peasants back here by the Arcane Vault, as the Demon Hunter goes straight after that Blood Mage. All right, Blood Mage now pretty much out of mana here. Paladin going to continue to battle up. There's another Holy Light. Fire Lord still trying to put in pressure. And this has just been a crazy micro-intensive battle throughout. Archers do have the superior range with their range upgrade up to 700 now, and the Demon Hunter now is still trying to chase after that Blood Mage as we see another Holy Light come online. Alright, Demon Hunter down to 250 some odd hit points. Peasants are trying to retreat away. They're actually standing too close to the Demon Hunter. Scroll of Town Portal coming back the other way. There's another Holy Light coming across. Perhaps these peasants can join in on some other on some Scroll of Regeneration action as we see the Ancient of War taking quite a bit of damage as it's trying to make its way across. Ancient of War does have the Nature's Blessing, has decent armor as the Ancient of Wars are now trying to act as tanks for that front line spot. Alright, those tanks, they do move very slow, so the riflemen should be able to just constantly shoot and scoot, constantly heading back as we see another Holy Light there. Healthstone, Potion of Replenishment, Scroll of Regeneration, and that Paladin is going to be regenerating hit points and mana at a very, very high rate of speed. Meanwhile, the Blood Mage perhaps could you be using a little bit of Clarity Potion as well as the Ancient of War really suffering far too much damage because it is unrooted. That will get taken down. Blood Mage still sitting at level 2. Meanwhile, we do see Foggy is setting up an Expo right behind this, so he does have the economic advantage as this game is still moving forward. Alright, Foggy's Ancient of War down to 40 hit points. It's going to get taken out. And multiple Ancient of Wars have fallen. Meanwhile, peasants up onto the high ground. Another Ancient of War being built up onto the high ground here as we're looking at the Moonwells suffering a little bit of damage. All right, Riflemen going to try and use that superior range. Perhaps they can even attack from the high ground, siphon mana away from that Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter now pretty much down out on mana as the Fire Lord now tries to push across here. All right, Riflemen continuing to put pressure here as the Archers going to drop up onto the high ground. Are we perhaps going to see some repairs? Archers using the high ground advantage being able to put in pressure as the units are now still trying to retreat back here. Demon Hunter down to 139 hit points. Archers are going to be able to belt down and take down that scout tower pretty easily, and that does give a bit of experience since it was upgrading to an arcane tower there at that moment. Meanwhile, arcane tower back next to the arcane vault is completed. Riflemen still shooting. There goes the Fire Lord, level 3 now on the Blood Mage. Blood Mage, level 2 siphon mana, and that should be able to siphon mana even faster, shutting down that immolation that much more quickly. Meanwhile, Arcane Tower now feeding back some of the damage onto the Demon Hunter. We're looking at a little bit of damage. There's some Holy Light here as the Ancient of War is about to get taken out. One giant target getting cleaned up so quickly as we're looking at the Goblin Zeppelin trying to retreat back and get away, and it does get away in time. Mass Archers versus Mass Riflemen here on Last Refuge. One base play versus 2. Foggy having this extra base but is currently sitting in a low upkeep, only getting 14 gold a second compared to 10. Meanwhile, Ancient of War getting shot down there. Foggy really needed to either break into mid or high 60s or stay at 50 and build up a very large bank. Ancient of War is going to get bursted down very quickly again. You can see those riflemen able to blast that Ancient of War, and now perhaps going after some extra targets. However, back off to the north here, Demon Hunter looking to go after these archers, and Lemes is going to be in trouble. He's not going to be able to get any mining here as Foggy has just dove into the base and is now disrupting all mining. Are we perhaps going to see a Scroll of Town Portal as the Paladin now looking to try to finish off this Tree of Ages? There is a Scroll of Regeneration here. That is a lot of repairs, and now in comes some damage. Wisp after Wisp could easily fall, and they are all just getting taken down in a moment's notice. Meanwhile, the Demon Hunter is still attempting to take down this Arcane Tower. Arcane Tower, not enough repairs as the Demon Hunter finishes the job and now trying to take down the keep. All right, Scroll of Town Portal, tactical retreat back, but Foggy still has one base here as the units are now coming back the other side. We are now sitting at 2-2 upgrades on those riflemen. Add in the Devotion Aura. Now we're sitting at essentially 2-4 upgrades with 32% damage reduction. All right. If you don't remember, every point of armor is effectively 6% more effective hit points. So 6 times 8 is, well, 48. So essentially each of these riflemen have about 700, nearly 800 hit points if they're only taking attack damage. Add in the fact now that they're also going to be healed, and that added bonus armor does make a drastic difference. All right, one rifleman going to easily get finished off there. Are we going to see more get taken down? There goes one, trying to finish off more. Paladin now shows up, trying to finish off some of these other units here. This one rifleman down to 113 hit points does not get the heal as the soul burn just stopping his ability to be able to cast. Meanwhile, we're looking at a little bit of banishment there as the rifleman continues to make its way forward. Foggy is sitting on this one base and one base only. Meanwhile, Demon Hunter with Immolation going to be shutting down the Expo off to the north. Foggy's Tree of Life, it cannot fall here. If Foggy loses this Tree of Life, well, it will then be essentially one base versus zero base as long as Lemes is able to continue that mining. And we are looking at the Paladin with a Scroll of Town Portal, so he does have a one-way ticket back home quickly if he wants to choose to use it. All right. Bunch of Moonwells down across here. Double Ancient of Wonders. Not quite sure what to make of that. Blood Mage and Paladin still making its way across. We can see a Tree of Life currently getting some mining in. And, well, we're going to see a tactical retreat back home here. All right, we're going to see some repairs. Are we going to see some damage get added on to some of those archers? One archer down. Another archer could get taken down easily. Are we still looking at some repairs that keep down to 200 hit points, down to 201 hit points? We need to see some more repairs there as the Blood Mage now going to be in a little bit of trouble. All right, this Fire Lord down to 51 hit points. Level 4 now on the Blood Mage. We could be looking at more repairs. Archers are trying to stay alive here. This keep is down to 70 hit points, down to 51. And we should be looking at repairs. No, the peasant did not repair. And now, well, no one is getting any mining done, even though Foggy does have a Tree of Life down on the south, still waiting to entangle that gold mine. All right, Demon Hunter, Staff of Teleportation will be heading back out now. Paladin sitting at level 5 and, well, does have a couple of workers, but doesn't have enough gold to try and build up a new base. If he perhaps clears out some creep camps, can get some gold, but that is a very tall order at this point and stage in the game. Foggy looking to saturate this gold mine on the bottom left here. Goblin Zeppelin still has a Demon Hunter and a couple of archers inside inside that basket. The Zeppelin could have some problems here as we're going to be taking a look at a quick bit of damage here as we're looking at some siphon mana as the Demon Hunter tries to go after perhaps those other targets. There's another Holy Light right there. Immolation not going to be enough to finish off that peasant. Back to the southern side, a couple of riflemen down to the southern position, perhaps going to be able to shoot their way out. Supply count, 37 supply compared to 23. The army of human is actually nearly twice as large as the Demon Hunter of Foggy dives into the main base and sees that there is no great haul. Meanwhile, we're looking at the riflemen here trying to shoot down to this Tree of Life. It will take a little bit of time. Meanwhile, more riflemen are going to be joining with their brethren to try and shoot down this Tree of Life here. Meanwhile, a couple of archers catching a couple of peasants out of position. That's going to be another downed peasant here in just a second. One more final arrow in the back, and there it goes. All right. Rifleman purposely keeping its distance away from that Tree of Life. Doesn't want to be within, melee range. This rifleman down to 93 hit points. We're going to see some repairs getting underway. Meanwhile, the Paladin coming back across, trying to take down some of those other units. There's a Staff of Teleportation, and it's going to teleport down to the south here. There's a Holy Light, and Wisp could now get taken down. Paladin does have maximum mana right now, so the Paladin could easily just start Holy Lighting those riflemen, and as long as the Demon Hunter, is just trying to constantly go after these riflemen one at a time, the Paladin with level 3 Devotion Aura is giving these riflemen 38% damage reduction or 60% more effective hit points. And with that, that 400 hit point heal just feels so unsurmountable. Rifleman continuing to back up here. More damage getting racked on by that Demon Hunter. The units should be trying to back up, keep their distance a little bit. You don't want that immolation to be affecting multiple targets. There is another healing light right there as the Blood Mage shows up and says, you know what, I'm going to give some mana to that Paladin. Paladin should be able to get another Holy Light off on that Rifleman. Meanwhile, off onto the north, the Zeppelin is now trying to clean up the buildings off to the north here. 28 supply compared to 14, 2-1 in terms of overall supply count as the Blood Mage and the Paladin now race off to the north. There are still some workers out on the battlefield somewhere. There is this Arcane Vault and Arcane Tower on the southern position. Goblin Zeppelin still hanging overhead. Where are perhaps all these units going as the Fire Lord now out on the battlefield? Archers getting into position here. It looks as though one Rifleman is being left behind to try and clean up all of these buildings. Demon Hunter, Fire Lord looking to take down this Blacksmith. And, well, every bit of gold does definitely matter as the Rifleman here trying to take down this Ancient of War. There's Riflemen and Peasants all across the map just trying to make sure that no mining is really happening anywhere as the Paladin Rifle Blood Mage trying to catch up to the Night Elf army and, well, do some lasting damage. All right. That Rifleman still taking slow pop shots against the, well, remainders of that Night Elf army. Meanwhile, Blood Mage retreats all the way back home. What is he going to do here? Just hides in the base temporarily as archers find another peasant off to the north. Demon Hunter, Fire Lord looking at 28 supply compared to 19. And Foggy looks to be, well, starting to mount a bit of a comeback. Every unit lost by the human player is another advantage. As we're going to see a Staff of Teleportation inbound. There's a Holy Light. And are we going to try and retreat again? Yes, we are. All right, Fire Lord still causing a little bit of problems. There's another, I believe that was a Soul Burn temporarily. There's the Demon Hunter fighting under the tower, Arcane Tower. Paladin now simply just going to try and run on by here, double back around, and now the Paladin seems to be okay. Immolation now onto the Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter is not going to be able to keep that going, really, as the Demon Hunter now being forced to retreat back. There are moon wells here with a fair amount of moon juice, and that does mean that there's going to be mana on the Demon Hunter and that Fire Lord again. 30 supply compared to 21, 28 supply army compared to 19. All right, down goes one Moonwell once more. Demon Hunter trying to chase after that Blood Mage again. Another Soul Burn really minimizing the damage here as we see another Holy Light come back across. Arcane Tower. Demon Hunter taking a little bit of damage here. Meanwhile, Rifleman coming in from the other side, continue to give a nice squeeze to this Night Elf army. 21 supply compared to 30 as the Ancient of War now making its way out over. All right, where are the remainders, or where is the remainder of Foggy's army here? He has 19 supply, and he has archers and a wisp hiding off on the side of the map. That is potentially very big news here as the Paladin now going after that Fire Lord. There's another Holy Light again, and the Demon Hunter going to be forced to try and retreat back away. Ancient of War, well, losing quite a bit of damage before it was able to convert into that fortified armor. So what are the strategies here now? It is essentially turned into a base race scenario. Fire Lord wants to try and take down all of these buildings here. Demon Hunter wants to try to take down the Arcane Tower. There's a handful of buildings left here, but Foggy does have wisps and archers to hang out on this island. Last refuge indeed. You can really hide some units off here on the corner of the map and make it very difficult to get to. All right, Riflemen continuing to shoot their way through this Moonwell here. And I do not believe Foggy is actually going to try and build anything here until the time is right. Fire Lord at 3, Blood Mage is at 4. Both Paladin and Demon Hunter are sitting at level 5. Things can go sideways really quickly if you are not careful, as that Fire Lord takes another couple pop shots by that Rifleman. $28 supply compared to 19. There goes another Moonwell. Demon Hunter trying to chase after that Paladin. Paladin now looking to fall back here. Firelord is in position to try and get some lasting damage onto that Paladin. Goblin Zeppelin is overhead. Archers are falling out of the sky, getting into position, and perhaps trying to stop that Paladin from being able to regroup. That is going to be a big deal as we see a couple of detonations go on to the Blood Mage and that Paladin. More Holy Light still keeping the army alive. Goblin Zeppelin gets shot down by the Archers as the Riflemen are still shooting their way through some of these Archers here. Low hit point Riflemen down to 71 hit points, down to 29. One more shot. Holy Light saves him again as the Paladin now retreats and backs up once more. All right. Paladin, is he going to be able to stay alive here? That is the question. Paladin getting body blocked by that Firelord. Paladin could be in some serious trouble. Paladin now able to back away. There's going to be some mana burn. And what is that Paladin doing? Paladin escaping away at 130 hit points. Going to double back around, try and regroup as the Paladin is down to 60 hit points. He could be in trouble. And oh, he gets banished. All right, Demon Hunter banished, turns on Immolation just enough to finish off that level 5 Paladin. And now the Demon Hunter going after the Blood Mage. No follow-up siphon mana from the Blood Mage onto the Demon Hunter. And because of that, the Demon Hunter had enough mana to use Immolation to activate it and then deal some lasting damage. Meanwhile, off to the north here, one lone archer continuing to attack that Altar of Kings. Meanwhile, off on the southern position, Blood Mage and Rifleman continuing to shoot. 25 supply compared to 12. But without that Paladin, well, things do look, a little bit more bleak for the human. Level 5, level 3. Moonwells, however, pretty much cleaned off of the board completely, save for one. And that is going to be key. If there's no easy way to get the Demon Hunter and that Firelord back to being combat ready, it doesn't matter what level those heroes are if they are not combat ready, as we're looking at an Ancient of War suffering quite a bit of damage here. All right, Demon Hunter trying to go after the units, Rifleman trying to retreat back. There's no easy Holy Lights at all, as now we are looking at the Demon Hunter finally out of mana. Are we going to see some damage go down? Rifleman continuing to attack here. Both sides still fighting their way through as Lemes now gets slow. So he does cast a slow with a Mud Golem. Is he going to be able to finish off that Rifleman? that Firelord. Firelord able to escape away at 22 hit points. Blood Mage could be in a little bit of trouble, but the Mud Golem being able to cast slow is such a dangerous threat that the Demon Hunter doesn't want to risk it. Demon Hunter does not want to dive in on the Blood Mage. Blood Mage sitting down at 81 hit points and still needs to level up a couple more times if possible. Meanwhile, Demon Hunter sitting at 430 hit points. Will he be able to make his way back out? All right, Archers are all gone here. It seems like Foggy is not going to do any sort of cheese play, and this is going to turn into a full-on base race. Foggy has, I believe, 2 buildings left, and that is it. No more workers out there on the battlefield, as this is going to be the last Moonwell. All right, Moonwell goes down. All right, Firelord tries to go after here. We're going to see a banish. There's a potion of invulnerability. And now the Blood Mage down to 105 hit points. Going to try and get away. Are we going to be seeing some, well, Mud Golem slow? There's that slow. There's a little bit of damage. Double backs around. And now the Demon Hunter siphon mana away again. All right, this is going to become incredibly close. Firelord coming back across here. Are we going to see some damage? There's a little bit of damage here. Are we seeing taking some damage over time? Yes, we are. Firelord down to 27 hit points. And this is just turning into a little bit of micro on both sides here. Demon Hunter going to have a lot of problems. Down to 176 hit points. Are we going to see some more damage? Blood Mage now trying to back away. The Mud Golem getting in some key slows. And that is just a game of running around. Firelord falls at level 3. Demon Hunter falls as well, giving the Blood Mage level 5 and victory to the human army. Let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments below. Foggy mining significantly more gold than his opponent, having a much larger army and losing more gold to upkeep, but unable to come up with the victory.